There is a bench in a garden in Windsor. Nothing special about it. Wooden slats, a bit weathered, the kind of bench you'd walk past 100 times without looking twice. In March 2024, that bench became the most watched piece of furniture in the world. But let's go back. Let's start where it actually started in the cold part of the year when nobody suspected anything. January 2024. London in January is a specific kind of grey, not dramatic grey, just tired grey. The tourists outside Buckingham Palace stand in it anyway, phones up, waiting for the changing of the guard, breath fogging, hands shoved into coat pockets. That week the news out of Kensington Palace was routine. Planned abdominal surgery, nothing to worry about. She'd be away from public duties for a while, recovering. Ordinary words, palace words. And then nothing. That's the thing people forget. It wasn't the diagnosis that came first. It was the silence, weeks of it, and the world, which does not know how to sit quietly, filled it. You remember what happened. Everybody remembers. The internet decided it knew better. Theories multiplied like weeds. Where is she? What are they hiding? A photograph was released and picked apart pixel by pixel until it fell apart in everyone's hands. Strangers on the other side of the planet, people who had never set foot in England, spoke about her whereabouts with total confidence. Somewhere behind all that noise, a woman was in a hospital being told something. Because that's what the tests found. The surgery had been described as non-cancerous, and then the tests that came afterwards revealed a cancer diagnosis. She has said herself that it came as an enormous shock. Healthline. Think about the shape of that. You go in for one thing. You come out having been told about another. And you can't say anything yet because there are children who need to be told first in the right words at the right speed by their mother and not by a headline. That's the part the theories never accounted for. The 3 children, George, Charlotte, Louis, somebody had to sit them down. So the silence wasn't a strategy. The silence was a mother buying time. And meanwhile the guards outside the palace kept doing what guards do. Boots on gravel, bearskins motionless. The whole machinery of the monarchy grinding forward exactly on schedule, because that is the promise it makes, that the institution keeps standing even when the people inside it are sitting down. Then came a Friday evening, late March. A video released with almost no warning. She sat alone. That's what struck people first. No aides, no press officer hovering off camera, no flags, no guilt, no throne room. Just a woman in a striped jumper on a wooden bench, spring flowers scattered white behind her, and the sound of birds carrying on in the background as though nothing at all were happening. She looked thin, everyone noticed. Nobody said it out loud that night. And she explained it plainly, the way you'd explain it to a friend who'd asked, that the January surgery had been thought to be for a non-cancerous condition, that the tests afterwards had found cancer, that she had begun a course of preventive chemotherapy. GB News. 2 minutes, that was roughly the length of it. I've thought about that video a lot, not the news in it, the craft of it, no wrong word, the care in it. She spoke about time. About needing time to process, about needing to tell her children in a way they could understand and to reassure them that she was going to be okay. She said it had taken her time to explain everything to George, Charlotte, and Louis, and to tell them she'd be all right. Watch her hands in that clip sometime. They move a little too much. She's the most photographed woman on earth, and she cannot keep her hands still. And the internet, the same internet that had spent 8 weeks being clever, went absolutely quiet. I remember reading a comment underneath the video from a woman in Manchester. She said she'd been diagnosed in November and hadn't told her own mother yet. She said watching a princess sit on a bench and struggle for words made her feel, for the first time in months, that she wasn't the only coward in England. That's what got missed in the coverage. Cancer does not care about the balcony at Buckingham Palace. It does not care about titles or motorcades or the changing of the guard. Even with exceptional resources and world-class medical care, She has described the treatment as incredibly challenging. The conversation. Then came the long middle, the part nobody films. Chemotherapy is not a scene. It's a schedule. It's a cycle you enter and enter again. Good days and flattened days. The body doing something enormous while the calendar just keeps turning pages. And for most of 2024, the public simply did not see her. Until June. Trooping the color. Her first public appearance in months. A white dress, a carriage, her children beside her, and a crowd along the mall that made a sound most people who were there still don't have a word for. Not a cheer exactly. Something rower. She stood on that balcony and she waved. She was mid-treatment. She waved anyway. And in July, Wimbledon. She walked into the royal box with Charlotte beside her, and the whole of center court stood up. 15,000 people on their feet for a woman attending a tennis match. NBC News. Nobody was clapping for tennis. September 2024. Another video. Different light, golden, autumnal family around her this time. William, the children, a wheat field, a home movie feel to it. She'd finished chemotherapy. But listen to what she actually said, because this is the part people scroll past. She described the previous 9 months as incredibly tough for her family. She did not say cured. She said the road to healing and full recovery was long. She said she had to take each day as it came. GB News. And then January 2025. The Royal Marsden in West London, the hospital where she had been treated. She walked back through those doors, but as a visitor this time, sitting with patients, thanking nurses who had seen her at her worst. That day she wrote the sentence the world had been waiting nearly a year to read. It is a relief to now be in remission. GB News. And then in the very same breath, because she is not a woman who deals in fairy tales, she said it takes time to adjust to a new normal. NBC News. A new normal, not the old one back, a new one. She has been honest about what that means, in a way royals historically never have been. Visiting a hospital in Essex the following summer, she said something that landed like a stone in still water. That you put on a brave face, a kind of stoicism, all the way through treatment, and then treatment ends, and everyone expects you to just get back to normal, and you can't. She said she could no longer function normally at home the way she once did. She called it a roller coaster, not smooth, the way you expect it to be. Healthline. Read that again. The Princess of Wales standing in an NHS corridor, telling strangers that she isn't fine yet. Nobody made her say that. Which brings us to this summer, to a mountain. Because in July 2026 she climbed them. The National Three Peaks Challenge, the highest mountains in Scotland, England, and Wales, inside 24 hours. She did it herself, supported on the route by Mountain Rescue, raising money for the Royal Marsden Cancer Charity. GB News. Picture the end of it. Wales. Evening light coming down the slope. And waiting at the bottom, not a press pack, not a formation of guards, her husband, her 3 children, her parents, her brother. And she wrote afterwards that healing isn't only about fixing what is wrong, that it's about finding balance between effort and acceptance, between control and trust. That bravery isn't only pushing forward, it's knowing how to stay grounded and present, whatever ground you're walking on. GB News. 2 years earlier she had been sitting on a bench, because sitting was what she could manage. So here's what I keep coming back to. We think of royalty as the thing that never breaks, the guard who doesn't blink, the balcony that's always full, the ceremony that runs whether or not the world is ending. And there's comfort in that. The whole point of the pageantry is that it outlives the people inside it. But the moment that actually changed something wasn't ceremonial at all. It was a woman on an ordinary wooden bench, birds singing behind her, saying out loud the thing she was most frightened of. She didn't do it in a crown. She did it in a striped jumper. And somewhere, a woman in Manchester finally picked up the phone and called her mother.